Hey guys, what's going on? Clouded Dog here back with another video and another cartoon, creepypasta. In this cartoon creepypasta, we're going to be reading the SpongeBob Lost episode called SpongeBob VHS Happy Place Redux. Now, if you got anything about this, let me know in the comment below. Also, like, comment, subscribe, and the bell notification to get notified. Of course, I will always be uploading some stuff, and just like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. That being said, let's get with the video. I like to state that I am a man who lives in a small town, in barely 2 miles long, with only a dirt road going straight through it. But I like this town because it's had nice scenery. The neighborhood was peaceful and everything was just a simple walk away. There were a lot of stores in my town, and I mean a lot. There was a tailor, a carpenter shop, grocery store, and a bar. And there were other stores I forgot on the list. In the middle of my town, it was an old VHS store that was owned by a nice old lady. It was always the top condition due to the old lady's dedication to it, which I found it to be odd to say the least. But to each their own, I guess. One day, the store was having a sale. Everything was 50% off. I got into the store out of pure intrigue, and then I saw a particular VHS tape that stood out. It was a SpongeBob VHS. It was a large case, like most VHS of them were. The cover was a half-image of SpongeBob's face, with only his eyes showing. His eyes were closed, with a thought bubble and smiling fishes, smiling plants, and what looked like SpongeBob's hands reaching out to grasp them. On the side, it said in the show's font, "Happy Place." The other side had the back of SpongeBob's head. There was what looked like a small smiley face and hands in his head. Though it looked quite faded, there was also no description of the episode. The text being replaced with SpongeBob finds joy in pure fields in his mind. I found it weird as a whole, but never seen this episode before, and the text on the back made it even more weird. I decided to buy it out of sheer curiosity, since I may have found a rare, unreleased episode. It was around $1 when I got it. I asked the old lady about it. She said that she got it along with the rest of her other tapes. She was interested in it, and she was just as interested with it as I was. But I didn't pay any mind to it, probably due to her job. I walked out of the store and walked to my house, which was just a mile's walk from the town. When I got home, I hooked up my VCR, put it underneath the old TV, and hoping to see what the VHS contents had in store for me. Then I put the VHS in the VCR, sitting down on a small living room couch. The VHS made a standard start noise, then the select screen popped up. I saw the title card. It said Happy Place in the show's font. The letters were pink. The text was smaller compared to the other title cards from the show. The background was brown, with the center of the flowers being green. Maybe it was just a episode where SpongeBob got stressed at work and found a happy place, I thought. I selected it. Since there wasn't any other option, the episode immediately started with SpongeBob and Patrick outside his house. There was only a single note of the theme song and then cut to him and Patrick. They were doing their usual antics as they did in the show, running around and laughing. The SpongeBob saw something that was shiny and white. He looked over with curiosity, but before he could get over to walk to it, Patrick called out his name. SpongeBob immediately ran over to him, but stopped halfway. He then quickly glanced back over to the object, looking over his shoulder, then over to his friend Patrick. Back to the shiny object. My friend needs me, but that other thing over there looks pretty neat. He thought to himself for a minute or two, his thumbs and index finger resting between the bottom of his lip, in the middle of his chin. While he was thinking of his brows furrowed. I don't know how to say that word, guys. I'm sorry. Moving, let's just say that. It cut to a view of his legs, walking toward the object without SpongeBob knowing it. He immediately snapped out of it. He snapped out of his thoughts and looked down. Prodigals, my curiosity got the best of me yet again. He said as he snapped his fingers in the feet. Well, I better go get a closer look at this thingy. My who's it? He said in his usual upbeat voice. I was pretty intrigued myself, seeing how well done this episode was so far. He bent over to get a closer look at the object. It looked like a kitchen knife of some kind. A handle was dark green with a strange pattern on it, like a mix of spirals and swirls. The blade was pearl white, with an indistinct looking finishing on it. It appeared to have writing on the heel of it. SpongeBob picked the knife out and began to read the writing on the back. The video began to distort a little bit, and he reads it. The happiest place is the happiest place to be is in your head. And then went back to normal in an instant. It weirded me out a bit, but that didn't stop me from watching. Well, that sounds kind of funny. Patrick came over. I found something. The starfish walked over to him, looking at SpongeBob annoyed. SpongeBob, I called out your name over and over. What do you want? Ooh, what's that? Patrick's mood changed as he saw what SpongeBob was holding. It's a knife, Patrick. I'm surprised you don't know. SpongeBob explained. Patrick took a closer look at it. His face immediately went pale as soon as he saw the message on the knife's heel. His color looked more white, like the knife. Patrick's mouth was in a scared frown, and his eyes were wide. His pupils looked like dots. He looked like he just saw a ghost poses. He looked like he just saw a ghost possess someone. SpongeBob, I have a bad feeling about that thing. I don't know what, but please don't. SpongeBob looked up, seeing the sun going down. Oh, it's afternoon already. Well, Pat, sorry to cut this short, but I gotta get to bed. See ya, buddy. SpongeBob interrupted Patrick's warning as he jogged back into his pineapple house, stuffing the knife in his pocket. Patrick still looked shell-shocked from what he saw. Dear Neptune, please be merciful on us. He found your gift, he prayed. This was getting more weird. Patrick was supposed to be a dimwit of SpongeBob's friend. Why is he so worried about SpongeBob finding a knife? His back was slouched forward and shakily walked back to his rock house. As SpongeBob went to his room to sleep, for some odd reason, he sat on the side of his bed and then pulled the knife out, looking like he was admiring its details. Why is Patrick so paranoid about this knife? It's kind of nice to look at, he teased to himself. As he finished saying that, he began to look like he was spacing out as he gazed at the quote of the heel of the knife. His pupil began to expand until it was almost filled his eyes. His pupil began to expand until it almost filled his eyes, and he saw the room filled with smiling faces. Everything in the room was smiling and laughing. He began to smile and look up, with his expanded pupils looking like his eyes were about to roll into the back of his head. The happiest place is in my mind, and I want to share it with all. And then I saw SpongeBob looking down at the knife shakingly, his eyes now large and ovoid in shape. With the same expanded pupils, the room now expanded with more faces growing all over the place and laughter sounding more hard and crazed. Then he looked up, his eyes now dark green. The screen went black for almost a split second, like there was a blink. I was surprised what I was seeing. It was so surreal, but I wasn't going kids show freaked me out too much. Then he came back to SpongeBob's house. Now back to the normal state. Now in complete shambles. The room was covered in holes, like someone stabbed it over and over in a frenzy. The floor had scratch marks and the furniture was destroyed as well. Pan over to SpongeBob sleeping happily beside the bed, also partly destroyed, but not as much as the rest of the room, giggling for only a small second. Did I just see SpongeBob go into a staggering frenzy and destroy his room? I was completely baffled at how weird and morbid this all was, but I kept watching it. The next day came, but there was no time card to show it. It just faded in to SpongeBob in his tarnished room, smiling cheerfully to himself. His eyes, still large and ovoid, his pupils were still that deep shade of green, but his pupils weren't as expanded as last time. There were bags under his eyes, but they looked like that they were scribbled under his eyes. He looked this heaved. I think that's what it said. I don't know, guys. I'm sorry. And apparently slept in his clothes as well, looking dirty and uneven in some places. But he continued to smile as usual, but it felt wrong this time. It was drawn more angular in his cheeks, and his two from the teeth weren't visible. It cut him skipping down the stairs, almost missing the last two of them. The stairs looked this pro I don't know how to say that word, guys. I don't know. And somewhat broken. But he went to the kitchen to get some breakfast, noticing that the knife was on the table. Gary was in the corner of the kitchen, cowering in fear. As soon as SpongeBob entered the room, "Hey, Gary, my favorite pet in the entire bikini bottom. You look hungry. Let me feed you and fill your stomach with lots of goodies." He sounded so happy and cheery that it was so unnatural for his character and unnerving to the situation. Gary became more terrified of him as he skipped gleefully to the fridge and grabbed the handle with a powerful looking grip. The movement of the grab was so quick that it was like light speed. He then drew the fridge open, his eyes skimming through its contents. They looked like dilated and devoted of life. He then found snail food and forcefully gripped the bag. His fingers looked like that they were going to burst open the bag. He ripped the bag open and slammed the fridge door shut. The sound being so loud that it could have broken the hinges to impact SpongeBob, then poured the frightening snail his food. His expression still stuck in that smile. Gary, startled, started to move away from SpongeBob. as if he was completely terrified of them. The view was stuck in Gary's level as SpongeBob went over to get his breakfast, which appeared to be cereal. It panned to him making it. Still, on Gary's point of view, he began to eat cereal with the knife, smiling and humming to himself. I didn't I didn't know how to feel at this moment. It was also weird. Did SpongeBob have a mental breakdown the night before? Why is Gary so terrified of them? Why is SpongeBob so fixated on a knife? I immediately suspected that the knife had to do something with it. It cut to SpongeBob. It cut to SpongeBob walking down the street, possibly going to work, the knife in his back pocket. I sank in my seat thinking about SpongeBob was going to do something very, very bad. As he was walking, he saw his other fishes on the sidewalk. He began to slow down and stare at them with his dark green eyes and saw an image of himself attacking them all with a knife and laughing dementedly. He smiled at that thought with that same creepy smile. He looked like he was lost in thought. While the other fish looked at him weirdly, "Sir, are you okay?" one of the fish questioned. "Oh, I'm okay, I'm just thinking," he muttered, giggling like a schoolgirl as he skipped all the way to the Krusty Krab. It cut to him when Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob in his office. "Ahoy, SpongeBob. It has come to me attention that you've been acting mighty strange lately. Care to explain?" the red crustacean asked in concerned tone. "Well, you see, Mr. Krabs, I've been having weird thoughts lately. Ha ha ha. It was very mean ones, too. Ever since I found this," he pulled a knife from his back pocket. His pupils expanded just looking at it. Mr. Krabs immediately became intimidated, yet frightened by the knife. It was like he knew too much. It's like he knew what the knife is. Boyo, boyo, you need to seek mental help. That knife isn't going to bring you good. Trust me, you don't want want to know what happened to last person's mental state when he had it. It won't do ye any good keeping it around here for long." SpongeBob again began to space out. Mr. Krabs continued to speak. The room was covered with smiling faces, sound of laughter, and began to say awful things about Mr. Krabs, how greedy he was, that he'll never share anything, that SpongeBob was the innocent, and that he gonna take his happy place away. Mr. Krabs' voice was barely audible at this point, being blocked out by laughter and chanting. "Why are ye giving me that look? What's wrong with your eyes? You're you're starting to scare me," Mr. Krabs shivered. But SpongeBob was too busy looking up at him with his expanded pupils, smirking, and began to look forward I began to walk forward to Mr. Krabs' desk, giggling like a child. I was completely surprised, yet very engaged. As I continued to watch the tape, I never thought that SpongeBob, the show's main character, a fun-loving sponge that would lose his mind because of the knife he found. Then I started to. Then I had a starting thought. What if the knife is cursed? I knew it may sound stupid, but at least it makes sense. SpongeBob finds a knife that belonged to a person who also fell for it and becomes taken by it like the previous owner. Was it a gift to Neptune like Patrick said? So many questions filled my head over what's going on. It honestly was pretty cool to see something like this. It would it was like the creator wanted to put some lore into the show. Maybe it was too creepy and got cut. I continued watching on. It faded to a title card saying, "In the Asylum." It cut to SpongeBob in a white padded room wearing a straitjacket, giggling and chanting, "This is my happy place." So white and quiet, the camera zooms in slowly on SpongeBob in the corner, looking more disheveled and devoted of life. The knife distorted into the view and near his crossed legs. The world around him, and the knife began to morph into the same smiling face from earlier. They began to mutate and fuse into each other as it changes colors and began to warp and swirl into different smiling visuals, and the audio was indescribable as well. It was like an awful mix between bass, gut-wrenching laughter, screaming, and white noise. It continued to get worse and worse as it zoomed out. SpongeBob and the knife still in view. He was on his side, his arms tugged from inside the straitjacket, and then it cut to black with text. "Thanks for watching my thing" in brightly colored marker. It was someone that was very angry when they wrote it. The VHS ended with a faint giggle. A faint. The VHS then ended with a faint giggle of a girl. It took a while for me to get myself together after watching that. It was so surreal and strange, seeing SpongeBob slowly deceasing into madness by a what I presume to be cursed knife. Was very unique for a kid's cartoon. I put the VHS away and collected my thoughts. I still don't know who made it, but I had a theory that the creator was just stressed with his own thoughts and wanted to make a cartoon about it. It was the only theory that made sense anyway. Alright, guys, well, that was the last episode of SpongeBob. If you guys like it, let me know in the comment below. Also like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications to get notified. And yeah, with that being said, guys, I know this was a long video, but you know what? It's just how the story was written. I did not speak the words pretty well because, well, some of the words I cannot even pronounce myself. So yeah, I guess that was one of the reasons. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe, bell notification, notified. Um, and let's see, we could get like around I would like to say like 10 likes on this video, and then I'll post up another video. Maybe, yeah, just be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on notification, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys in my next video. This has been Claw the Dog, and peace.